dollar for dollar for that health care payment. So it's really a matter of understanding, educating people, what vehicles are available, what amount they need to save, and hopefully help them plan for those health care expenses, especially when it comes to keeping their retirement assets intact for other purposes. So when we talk about removing barriers, I think it's part of educating the financial advisors as well as the individuals as well as the employers to help maximize the opportunity for people to think about this. And then there's long-term care. Long-term care is a topic all to itself that we could get into, but it's certainly going to have to be factored in to estimating what those health care expenses are going to be. One of the biggest things that I deal with all the time when I'm talking to individuals is that they think once they reach age 65, they're home free. Got my Medicare at that point. Well, Medicare hopefully will be there for you and me and all of us in the future, but it was never designed to do the whole job, and it certainly is not going to be able to do the whole job in the future either. And so people really need to understand what is it that Medicare covers and what does it not cover. And how does healthcare reform come into play? There's this misconception that healthcare reform is going to be either a terrible thing or a panacea, and it's neither. So we really have to still plan for potential retirement before age 65, especially if there's healthcare needs or disabilities that prevent you from working, as well as post-65. And even when we think about Medicare-eligible folks, Medicare is just not going to do the whole job and never would be able to do the whole job. So I like to be able to bring it home on an individual basis and say, how much should you be thinking about health care as being a component of your total retirement income? And there are varying studies, but they're mostly falling into this category that between a quarter and a third of your income in retirement will be paying for out-of-pocket health care expenses, not covered by Medicare. And I really don't know if people are really planning for that. Are they really estimating income needs when they think a third of it could be carved out just for health care? Even the calculators, and there's a plethora of them available, are not necessarily factoring in a third of that income dedicated just for that particular expense in retirement, potentially. And people don't even really know about Medicare cost shares as they are today. I could go around many different college campuses today, and there's always that economics professor who's an expert in the room, and then there's always, the other folks that haven't paid much attention to benefits. But either way, they're not necessarily completely knowledgeable about what their out-of-pocket costs are going to be. I mean, Medicare Parts A and B deductibles alone, $1,132 a year is a deductible for the Part A benefit, $140 for the Part B benefit. That's just this year, by the way, 2012, and that's always going to be indexed in the future. Part B premiums. Until someone actually starts collecting a Social Security check in retirement, they're not even focused on the fact that